So I also kind of have to say this to, well, hello everybody, I kind of have to say this right now. Naruto this week has been very spoiler heavy, or at least like has been very flashback heavy, solely because in this episode today they finally say who the masked man is, and it is Obito Uchiha, just like everybody knew. And guess what? I honestly kind of like the revelation in this a little bit. I like it solely because it keeps, well, on one hand, I do honestly kind of find it a little bit, bullshit upon how, man, like, the Rasengan could break the mask but not damage his face. I honestly call bullshit on that. Because it could break the mask, but yet it couldn't hurt his face unless he, like, moved out of the way fast enough to do that. But at the same time, it's like, right after that, his entire character changes. Once that mask is broken, and we know who Obito is, and they do the whole flashback of them doing the tuning exam, blah, 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 him giving Kakashi's eye and all that. Once that mask is gone, his entire character changes. And he now becomes way more cynical, and he seems to become just a little bit more powerful. I don't know where this comes from, where necessarily if you break an article of clothing, whether it be mask, whether it be like a shirt, whatever. Whenever in anime, whenever you break clothing of somebody, I don't know why, but they always become like 10 times more powerful than they actually are, which is pretty strange because it's like well, technically he wasn't having trouble fighting them, but with him fighting them, doing all that, it did also kind of go into like this strange little mode where basically he was just doing random jutsu from his eye, from his Sharingan, which honestly I can get if that they want to say like, oh yeah man, his Kamui can do that, but at the same time it's summoning fire dragons, it's summoning basically like pillars of steel. Like, where is it written that his eye can do that? Now, I can understand it transporting like one thing to another, but I'm like, how these things come out? Somebody had to do these jutsu in order for you to like fucking do them like that. Because seriously, from what I can tell, Kamui only works like moving one thing from one dimension to another. That is it. Alright? So basically, if he's in the dimension and nobody has done these abilities yet, or himself, how the fuck are you doing this shit? I don't know. He's just fucking doing it, and honestly, it boggled my brain, but at the same time, it's all for the love of anime. I can't really hate on it. So mostly it's like, hey man, he kind of has to do something, man, other than breathing in, shooting out fireballs. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, once that mask broke, he turned it into basically the cynical Madara 2. And guess who showed up at the end of this episode? The big man on campus himself, Mr. Madara Uchiha, the guy, man, who basically, man, can just walk into who just walks into people's houses and then, man, just steals their couch as they sitting on it. You know, that bastard, the guy, man, who just comes in, just raids your house, man, as, man, you're sitting in it. You know, that crazy bastard. I mean, he just shows up and just like, well, hey, I had nothing better to do. So he just sort of just went over there. That's kind of how, man, that shit just came off. However, the next episode, I will keep you guys updated for that. For this one, it was pretty good. It wasn't all that bad. And in terms of a show where how it's going and how we saw it go in the manga, I'm mostly only watching the anime. I mean, like, the anime serves a grandiose purpose of honestly breathing life into something that on paper kind of only just sort of just tells you what happened, whereas the anime kind of walks you through it step by step, which does tend to help just a little bit more. So yeah, what did you guys think of this episode? Please tell me down there in the description. I'll be out, and thank you for watching my channel.